Hey guys, Peter here to do an album review. Today I'm here to tell you about the latest from Setyøursails, Nightfall, out January 21st on Napalm Records. The album has 13 tracks, 46 minutes in length, and this is the band's second full-length studio album. They are a German post-hardcore band. For this record, they created a structure that I felt was very unbalanced. It didn't really offer a cohesive nature to the overall experience of this record. The album starts off really strong and it finishes as strong as it starts, but in the middle, there's more of a melodic, melancholic drive that really brings the mood of the record down. This doesn't mean that in that middle portion of the album, you're not going to get heaviness, you're not going to get intensity, you're not going to get aggression. You will, but it's really sporadic and it's more spread out throughout the entire existence of those tracks. It's not as deeply concentrated as it is in the beginning and as it is at the end. Because of that, you have this deep valley in between two peaks. It doesn't give the album the right fluidity, and the album could really use all the energy that it has spread out in a more equal way. It would make the playability of the record a lot better. Once you move into the soundscape, this is a band that has a lot of diversity and uses that diversity to make the album come to life as much as possible. You have post-hardcore elements, you have metalcore elements, and you have elements outside of those two genres coming in and allowing them to have a huge palette at their disposal in terms of what they pick, in terms of what colors they pick in order to make the painting that becomes the record. One thing about the sound of this album that I wasn't a huge fan is how much depth, how much bass it has. It really grounds the record consistently throughout, but it makes it very hard for you to penetrate through it, for you to break through it, and have the message of the songs be a little bit more impactful and a little bit more in your face. One of the reasons for that is perhaps the drums. The drums on this album could have used a little bit more of the cymbals in order to create a splash, in order to create some life, in order to create some energy, and to break that depth of sound that exists from start to finish. It would make the overall sound experience richer, would give more energy, would give more life to the album, and would fall in line with what's happening on the guitar side. Because the guitars on this record are definitely one of the highlights of the album. They drive the experience, they drive the listener from song to song, within songs themselves, being very creative, very volatile, very dynamic, just really creating a lot of energy and intensity and aggression and changing the moods from the songs and within songs themselves, allowing them to really become one of those beacons that you can hold on to and really appreciate the work that's been done, sung in and sung out. Another one of those beacons that this record has is definitely the vocals. The vocals are super consistent in terms of the quality that they offer. They're not consistent in terms of the delivery, because the delivery changes within songs from song to song. The tone, the style, the harsh vocals, the clean vocals, the more intense approach, the more melancholic, introspective approach, all of that is on the table. And that really adds energy to this record. And vocally, this album has a lot of life. It has a lot of energy. It all comes from these dynamic changes that exist from beginning to end. And allowing the record to have that is really important. And at the same time, being very consistent in terms of the quality that it offers to the songs, in terms of bringing these stories to life. It's extremely important in order for this record to have a little bit of a sense of security in it. Overall, I enjoy this record. There is a lot of quality with this band. There is a lot of quality with this record. I'm just not quite sure that, considering the soundscape, that grounded soundscape, and the overall construction approach of the album, that this is the right way of showcasing it. The tools were there. I could really break down this album and perhaps create a record that's a lot more impactful with everything that they have at their disposal that's already in the album itself. For me personally, I just felt like it never really got where I needed the album to go. But the tools, once again, are there, and I really feel like this is a band that can really go places moving forward, learning from the lessons, learning from all the mistakes of the past, and really building upon them in order for the future records to have more of a connection, to have more of a sense of a roadmap from beginning to end, and not allow the listener to lose themselves into the record and then really struggle to find yourself in it. And that takes away from experiencing the album, and that takes away from really connecting with the record itself. Now, as far as favorite songs are concerned, I want to start off with Nightfall. Great guitar sound. The distortion adds to the aggression that this track has, and bringing the bass and clean vocals together as one really gives a little bit of a heartbeat to the way this song moves. It dips the track, it dips the emotions of the track, it dips the intensity of the track, and then the harsh vocals lift the track back up again. So it's a song that's very volatile, that has a lot of energy. The chorus is more melodic, vocally and musically. The verses are a little bit more impactful, a little bit heavier, a little bit angrier, and that creates the necessarily ebbs and flows that the track has. Then having two vocalists adds even more dynamic to the way this song comes across, adds even more life, makes the song feel even more volatile, and it gives a lot of flavor, it gives a lot of texture to how this song comes across, becoming one of those tracks that you don't forget about it because it's very impactful, not just in how it sounds, but how it comes across and the message that it holds. Next we have Why, Off the Races from the Start. This is a track that doesn't ease you in. It doesn't allow you to take a few steps before you see if you want to dive into the waters or not. This song just goes at it right from the get-go. You feel the aggression, you feel the intensity. The verses are super powerful. The chorus has a little bit more of a melancholic, melodic approach to it, a more introspective look, if you will, allowing the verses to feel like there's an outburst of that energy. So the chorus is more of an introspective look, you're looking on the inside, while the verses is all of that that's built up on the inside coming to the outside, creating a very dynamic, very interesting track from the beginning all the way to the end. There's also a cool atmospheric bridge that extends the track, that gives more texture to the song and allows you to kind of think about where you're going with this song, think about the lyrics a little bit better, allowing the song to resonate, to simmer, to marinate better for the listener. That bridge there is super important in order to connect where you started and where you're going. Last but not least, we have Deadline, beautiful guitar and vocals combo. This is a track that starts off in a very melodic, beautiful way, but it's a song that doesn't stay that way. There's a sense of growth, there's a sense of progression from start all the way to the finish. And that is a very important element for this track because it doesn't stay linear. It keeps growing. Elements keep getting added. There's more heaviness, there's more volume, the drums come in, the guitars come in, the vocals start to become a little bit richer with every single step. There's a little bit of a different tone, there's a different approach. This is a song that starts one way and finishes completely opposite of where the starting point was. That gradual process is what keeps you connected with this track, is what keeps you coming back for more, because you see it musically and vocally, the track moving upwards, adding more elements to it, adding more intensity, adding more aggression. Really interesting way of constructing a song and really interesting way of delivering it. This is it. Setyøursails with Nightfall, out January 21st on Napalm Records. Let me know your thoughts on the band, on the singles. Use the comment section below. I'll be reading those and getting back to you. Take care, guys.